And at the end of the day, we do have to stock what sells. And I've had Fiat 500s in, they have been problematic, but we've not really been burnt on any with the exception of the yellow one. That's the only one that really has, well, that proper burnt me, hasn't it?
Morning all, you join me back at Aston Barclay today on collection duty. Been buying some vehicles and we're going to go pick one or two of them up. We're going to cover in this video rather a strange decision of mine, which is to buy a Fiat 500L. Now, I've driven a few of these, I know a little bit about them, 1.6 diesel, you do petrol versions as well, but the diesel is probably the most common. And to be honest with you, I don't think they're all that bad, and never sold one, so it'll be interesting to see what they're like on the pitch to sell. Sitting that sort of crossover platform, similar to sort of a Qashqai, I think we'll be able to make a coin out of it, make a few pounds. And this one I bought, actually, I think is pretty decent value, and hopefully we'll be able to turn it into a nice car. But anyway, it's in the compound here somewhere. Let's go and find the big Fiat. Right, here it is. Now, sorry about the wind, guys, it's a bit up. I've got the mic on, so we'll try and drown out best we can. So here we go, 2014 plate Fiat 500L. It's a 1.6 diesel. And I'll give £1,400 for this in the room. Obviously, there's some fees on top of that, which we'll go through in a minute. I'll show you the invoice, but roughly guessing about 1650-ish, maybe slightly under, out the door with all the fees on. Now, it does need a little bit of work on the bodywork. I wouldn't say it needs a lot of paint, because I'm not trying to buy stuff at the moment that needs a lot of paint, but it certainly needs a buff up, and I think that is what's contributed towards this sort of low-end price, if you like, and why I may have sort of been able to nick this. Now, it's done 108,000 miles. This is a diesel. Now, I know some people will say, oh, it's a bit mileagey. Yes, it's a little tad up on the miles, but it has got service history, and if it had lower miles, it wouldn't have been 1,400 quid, it'd have been 2,500 quid, and it wouldn't then fit into my sort of retailing strategy, which I'm trying to buy stuff really between 2.5 and 3 grand, 3.5 grand retail. That's my sort of sweet spot. I will sell stuff over that, up to 5 grand, and occasionally the odd thing under, but 2.5 to 3.5 grand retail is my sort of sweet spot, and that will fit in there just perfectly. And I said I'd have to buy this with a little bit more miles on in order to achieve that. But I still think it's cheap nonetheless, mainly because of the bodywork, which we'll show you now. Now, there's not really much damage on it. There's a slight bit on one corner, I'll show you in a minute. But overall, for a car that's done 108,000 miles, it isn't too bad. The major thing, which I don't know if you can quite pick up on in the camera, but I'll try my best to try and show you, is it's just really sort of faded and marked, the paintwork, as in like car wash marks, very light and just wants a really good buff up, and it will be transformed with a buff up. I mean, they've got bits here, I mean, look at this here, we've got marks here, coming from the behind the wing mirror. They'll come out, they'll just buff out, it's just, they're not indents into the paint or anything. And it's just got little marks like this all over, but they're all really light. I've gone through them all, and there's nothing there that's going to be worrying too much to be, spending money on painting doors or whatever. Again, the tailgate and the back's just a tiny bit faded. The whole car just wants a bloody good mop, and it will look really, really well. The major point we've got down here is a little bit of damage down there. Now, most of that will come out. It's actually just lightly scuffed, but they'll probably still be left with, obviously, that mark there, and there's a little dent. So you are going to be looking at a smart repair there. But that's not too bad. That's really just an in and out job, to turn around very quickly in a couple of days in the paint shop and get it buffed up, and it will look and transform into a different car. So saying other than that, it's not too bad. Wheels want a little bit of clean up. They're not horrendous. I think a good clean up will probably suffice. They can get a bit corroded, these Fiat wheels, but I think we'll probably get away with them with just a bloody good clean up and a bit of detailing on them. Let's have a look inside anyway. Central locking's working. We have got 2 keys, I believe. There's a pack inside. Squeeze in here. We're in. Pull the seat back a bit. Right, inside, it's not too bad actually. They're very spacious, these things. There's a lot of room in these. They are very spacious, but got very high sort of headroom as well. I'm sitting in here now. I'm about 5'10". I've got loads of space around me. I'm not crammed in against the doors or anything like that. It's pretty decent, to be fair. Now, this is a 1.6 diesel, 6-speed manual. Engines on these 1.6s, they're pretty alright, to be fair. I mean, they're not horrendous or anything like that. Later ones I'm a little bit more sceptical of. They suffer with timing chain issues. These ones, more sort of injectors. I used to come across problems with these. Let's fire this one up anyway. Fire straight into life. Sounds alright, to be fair. You've got, look at all that diesel there, quarter tank of diesel. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So we've got no warning lights on the dash. It started well. We've got no clattering when it's fired up or anything like that. I'm looking out the rear view mirror, I can't see any smoke or anything. We did have a green report on this one, so, I mean, take them with a pinch of salt, but at least someone has inspected it and gone through the motions. Anything obvious would have been picked up. So far, looks promising. Radio working? Yes, radio 2 on there. Beautiful.
We've got in the glove box there, a little bit of a trim piece somewhere, someone's had off. A couple of manuals, locking wheel nut key. Got an upper glove box there, no anything in that, nope. I quite like this, it's nice sort of gloss finish on the dashwork. The interior, really, for 108,000 miles, is really in good order. It's in decent nick. There's nothing sort of falling off or anything like that. Just check the heaters. Yep, they're all working. That's good news. Doesn't look too bad. Quickly show you the invoice. Pocket. Careful, I'm showing you here, but basically, there we go. There's the amount we paid for it. £1,650, and that's made up of £1,400 for the car, £200 and probably £10 in fees, and then about 40 quid roughly for the assured report, which is the report up there, which basically goes through the AA do it. They have an AA man on site, and they do engine, they go clutch operation, stuff like that, check all the fluids, anything obvious. If they're putting the foot down on the clutch pedal, it's really hard, or you've got noisy flush bearing or anything like that, they'd mark that down. Same with engine. If you start it up and it sounds like a bag of spanners, they're going to be sort of making a mark on that. Not saying they're 100% accurate. Obviously, they're very limited in their inspection, what they can do, but it does give you a guide. I do take them on board when I'm looking at them. Obviously, it does help and it gives you an idea. But I always buy stuff for the stuff I'm buying. I take it with a pinch of salt. At the end of the day, if something's missed, it's going to happen. So we have a look under the bonnet. Oh, you can get it open. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It is 1.6 diesel. Not a bad engine, this. To be fair, they're like I said, they're all right. These little multi-jet diesels. Nothing too obvious there. We've got no oil leaks down the left-hand side there. We've got fresh coolant in it. It's all on the mark. That's good. Engine-wise, these, really, the only thing I've ever come across on these is sort of injectors. Early ones with stuff with noisy injectors or sort of misfiring and stuff. I mean, not the end of the world to fix, but other than that, they weren't that bad. Obviously, usual stuff you can get on modern diesels, DPF issues, EGR clogging up. You're going to have to maintain them to a certain degree. But other than that, they're not that bad, really. Like I said, later ones, you suffer with a few chain issues, but it's a completely different redesigned engine, the later Fiat 1.6 diesel. But that sounds all right. It's sounding lovely, actually. Quick look in the back. Oh, look at all that room. Look at all that room. It's beautiful. Honestly, I mean that seat's halfway forward, and I've got so much leg room there. It's great. Got trays there. Put all your snacks in or your sausage rolls. Yeah, nice thing. Very spacious. Very spacious. Quick look in the boot. Again, I mean, not the biggest boot in the world, but it's not too bad. I mean, you've got a decent size. Obviously, you've got the height as well, so you have got quite a decent loading space in there. And obviously, you've got a bit there as well, a little cubby holder there. You can stash all your stuff in. Parcel shelves in there as well, which is always good. They always seem to go missing. I'm quite pleased with this. Really am quite pleased with it so far, but we need to drive it. So let's go get it out. We're going to get past the gate man. But assuming we can get past him in one piece, we should be able to go rig it up, go for a test drive in it, and hopefully see if it drives okay, and then work out what we're going to do with this big Fiat. It is. How was your holiday?
Very nice.
Good.
Oh, very nice.
You book again?
Yeah, look, burnt my legs.
Burnt your legs? Oh dear.
Yeah.
Not
Going again.
Oh, good. So you should. Might cheer you up. Right. Rigged up. Fired up. Never in doubt. Right. Pull off. Ugh. We're off. Pulls well. First thing I've noticed, steering wheel's off to the left slightly. There's a bugbear of mine is tracking, so that definitely wants attention. But, going through the gears nice into fourth, pulling off, turbo's coming in nice. Nice bit of boost on it into fifth. It seems to be driving all right. Let's move over to this lane and we'll just apply the brakes, see what they're like. Nice, not pulling any one side or anything like that. No noises, no grinding. Now it's running through the gearbox in gear, all right. It's not too bad. No noises, no whines in the box or anything, which is always a relief. I've just gone through from first to sixth and we've got no issues there with crunching or anything. There is a little bit of resistance in one or two of the gears. I have noticed the clutch pedal is a tad heavy. Now, I won't say it's like monstrously heavy, like you're having to sort of, you know, really put some welly into it, but it is a little bit heavy. And I've driven a few of these and I've never noticed them to be that heavy. So I'm suspecting with the heavy clutch pedal and the fact that it's flowing through the gears all right, but it's just that there is a little bit of resistance there, and I just don't feel that should be there. Possibly could be looking at maybe putting a clutch in this. Now that's not great news, but it's not the end of the world. It's not a particularly difficult job to put a clutch in one of these.
And I would imagine the clutch kits aren't that expensive to buy. We've got no dual mass rattling or anything like that. I'm not even sure if it's got a dual mass. I would imagine it probably has, although some diesels can surprise you which manufacturers fitted them and which ones didn't. But there's no rattles or anything. I think it's probably just a case of it's just a pressure plate of the clutch itself. It's probably just a bit worn and not sort of springing back into place properly. And that can happen with a clutch that's been old and been left in there for a length of time. It's done 108,000 miles. Now you don't know if it's the original clutch in there. The bite point's quite low down though, so it would suggest maybe that it's probably not the original clutch, but I don't know, there isn't something quite right there, so we definitely need to look at that. But I am quite pleased other than that. They say it's driving really nice, we've got good brakes on it, it's not wandering all over the road or anything like that, we've got no noises, we've got no engine problems, thank God. It's looking so far to be a pretty decent purchase. I always knew there was going to be something else wrong with this car. It always is, it's very rare you buy something that just needs, a very light work and you can put it on sale. Those days are gone. Everything these days in modern cars, bear in mind this is still 11 years old, but it's still quite modern in regards to the tech on it compared to stuff we used to deal with. There's so much you have to do to them to get them right and ready. So what am I going to need to do to this to get this ready for retail? Well, we definitely need to sort this clutch situation out. I'm adamant now that there is definitely something not quite right with this clutch. The easiest thing is to get the gearbox off and just shove a new clutch in it, get it done, get it sorted very quickly. In the meantime, it can be driven. It's not terrible. So we might be able to sort of put a waiting prep sticker on, advertise it at least, and then we can fit it in next week, get a clutch done. In the meantime, it's on sale. We've got people looking at it. It can be test driven. And obviously we can put a new clutch in it either when we sell it or ideally when we get a bit of time in the next few days or maybe next week. We definitely need to sort out that damage on the near side rear lower, the arch area. That's going to need touching in, smart repair in there, and then obviously the rest of the car just needs a bloody good buff over. Once I've done that, I think it actually will come up like a piece of glass. It'll look really, really well. Bodywork just looks worse than it actually is and needs very little effort to make it look a real car again. So what do you think we'd get for something like this? Now bear in mind it has done 108,000 miles. Retail on this suggested is around £3,500. Some would say just slightly under. Now I would say if we're going to put a new clutch in it, buff it all up, make it look $1 million, do a full service kit on it as well, I think we can easily get 3,495 for this. It's the sort of car that people will be looking at, for instance, like maybe Kia Vengers or maybe looking at Qashqais maybe, would be interested. It's a very family car crossover, and with that Fiat 500 sort of brand, if you like, attached to it, I actually think it would be a pretty decent seller. Maybe wrong, but you don't know unless you try. Numbers wise on this, well, we paid what, £1,650 dead for the car. I would say we're definitely going to have to put a clutch kit in there. We'll do that obviously ourselves, but we're probably going to spend at least maybe £100 to £200 maybe on a clutch kit, depending on how much it is. Then we're going to need to buff it up and obviously do a little bit of paint. Probably going to spend again maybe another couple £100 doing that. It only wants a very small smart repair and then maybe just a mop up as well. And obviously there'll be other prep as well. I actually think potentially this could come in around the £2,000 mark very easily. And if it did, that gives us around £1,500 left in the vehicle, which would be a real decent profit. Now bear in mind you're going to pay some VAT out of that as well, so you're not quite making £1,500, you've got a fair few £100 there going off to the Chancellor. And also bear in mind as well, I do my own warranties, you've got to sit on this for a period of time. For something on licensed sort of value, we'll be giving us sort of a 3-month warranty, in-house warranty with ourselves, and you've always got that risk that potentially that could eat into profits going down the line. But even after all that, there's still a nice little profit in there, even though there is a little bit of work to do, particularly if we need to put a clutch in, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but it will help sell the car, it'll be right, rather than just trying to chance it and thinking, no, it'll be okay, and 1 in 3 people might not notice it. Just can't be doing with that. Just get it done, get it right. If it goes wrong during a warranty period, and it may well do, you're in trouble. The car could be 200 miles away, then you're going to have to get it recovered to get it fixed, or you're going to have to trust a local garage somewhere else you don't know to fix the car for you. In my experience, most of the time, every 10 garages you use, 1 of them's decent, the other 9 is trying to rip you off. I think this will sell really easily. I think this will be a really popular car on the pitch, and I think it'll look good value as well at 3,495 when done. And like I said, just say you've done all the service and put a clutch in it, just going to make it a doddle to sell. I may be wrong, but we'll find out.
Right, you join me following day, and I can confirm the Fiat's on sale. Let me show you. So there she is, 3,495, a waiting prep, sign in the window. We have given it a quick buff up and a quick valet. I haven't gone to town on it, it's had a quick valet. I've ordered some new mats for it, some tailored ones there come in hopefully in the week. Just smell beautiful in there, absolutely beautiful. But it's come up not too bad. It was actually a lot dirtier than I thought, to be fair. Well, it does want a final valet, but I'm not a great valeter. I'm all right. I'm okay. I can do just about enough, but I'd have got my valeter on it, but he's off work this week. He's took the best week to go off work, I tell you. But nonetheless, got it done. This tailgate was all faded to hell, and I've not machine mopped it. I did have a go at machine mopping it, but my mop's just too vicious, and it gives me bad. I mean, I've got vibration white finger, to be honest. But anyway, the point being that I've gone over it by hand with some compounding paste, and it's come up really, really well. Now we are going to have to paint it. We haven't painted it yet because I'm going to get that done next week. But the main thing was just to get it on sale and get some interest, get it on the Facebook. And we've already had a few inquiries on it as well, so we might even sell it before we even get the paint done. Not that we won't get the paint done, but just mean we might get a name on it. That's the main thing. But we're going to get that done next week. That's going to go off to paint, all being well. And then when they get it there, we'll get them to machine mop it. But it's come up really well. There was all these marks down the passenger side here. They're all gone. They all come out as expected. These doors were all, the tops here were all really badly sort of faded in, sort of gone really sort of funny. They've come up really well. And this is just with a quick sort of going over with a compound paste and a little bit of polish. You know, not too vigorous. With a machine mop, most of these other little marks that are still just about there, if you can just catch them, I mean, you can quite see them, I probably can't see them, to be fair, on the camera. There's still some very light imperfections, but it's pretty much 85% there. So just say a good machine mopping now will make it like a piece of glass. So that's pretty much it, really. So got a lot of scratches out as well. It wasn't too bad other than that mark down there, and just a few light marks. It just wanted a little bit of love on it. The rest of the test drive, it drove back absolutely lovely, no issues or anything like that. So really pleased with it. I have concluded it definitely does want a clutch, the old little Fiat, so we're definitely going to get that sorted as well. I mean, at the moment, I think most people wouldn't notice, but I know it's not quite right, and like I said, I think the one in three might notice it's a little bit heavy and might comment on it, and it shouldn't be like that, because I've driven a few of these, and they shouldn't be that heavy. So we'll get that in next week, get that sorted, get the clutch done first, I think, and we'll get the paint done probably secondary. We've also had a quick look underneath it, really solid underneath as well, no issues there, suspension's all good, been for the service pack, it's had quite a bit done to it. It's in really good shape actually, that Fiat. It just wants a little bit of fettling on the paintwork, get it right, put a clutch in it. Then I say there's lots of margin left in it as well, and it looks good value. 3,495 for a 14 plate car for dealer with a new clutch in that's really spacious. Compare that to some other stuff out there. I mean, you wouldn't get a cash guy on a 14 plate from a dealer, that sort of mileage on at that price. I mean, I think we've got one now on a 1011 plate, and you know, I'm booking it. And by the way, mine's one of the cheaper ones in the sort of radius area we're working in, and that's about the same sort of money with similar mileage. In fact, probably a slightly more on being a petrol. So they do offer great value for money, these Fiats. And I know some people are going to be in the comments now going, Fiats are crap, you know, fix again tomorrow, you're mad buying one of those. I've heard it all before. How many times I hear that fix again tomorrow? I get told the same thing when I bought that Alpha. I don't just buy cars blindly. I will always buy stuff that I've got some sort of experience on or know about or I've learnt about, whether that's personally working on them in workshops or other dealers who are buying these cars years in advance. You know, these cars were newer 3 or 4 years ago. They were buying them when they were 10, 15 grand. You hear all the sort of comments and issues and faults with vehicles way in advance by the time they get down to sort of my level, because I remember I'm buying stuff sort of sub 5 grand. So the time I get hold of them, I know what all the dealers have experienced, all the problems, all the bad engines, I've heard it all. And I don't really hear too many things about the 1.6 diesel of this era to worry me. You know, this is the odd exception. I've seen the odd turbo go, which is common on diesels, EGR sort of faults and stuff like that, and blockages of DPS. But that's just because of some diesels are driven in a certain way when they shouldn't be, short journeys and stuff. That happens to any diesels. And I've heard the odd injector go, but these aren't major issues. They can be easily fixed. And I don't think for 1 minute the fact that it's a Fiat is going to stop it from being sold. We sell, like I said, Qashqais and Dukes. In my opinion, some of those are not particularly well built, but they are really good sellers. Corsas, brilliant sellers, absolutely brilliant, horrendously built and just poor quality, but they are good sellers. And at the end of the day, we do have to stock what sells. And I've had Fiat 500s in, they have been problematic, but we've not really been burnt on any with the exception of the yellow one. That's the only one that really has, well, that proper burnt me, hasn't it? However, with the exception of that yellow Fiat, I've probably sold another 20 in that period and I made really good money out of them. So I have got quite a lot of confidence in this Fiat 500L. It's looking promising and it looks like we are going to get a shilling out of it. But I would love to hear your comments on it. Have you driven a Fiat 500L? What is your opinion on them? Do you think this one I bought, was it good value at £1,650? Or do you just think that I'm absolutely mad and have lost the plot? I want to hear your comments nonetheless. Let me hear all the positives and the negatives in that comment section. So anyhow, thank you for watching this video. This week we've got plenty of videos coming out. I think I've got about 3 or 4 more coming out, including another auction video, and I'm also on 2 auction trips this week, so you'll have plenty of auction content coming in the month of June, and also some other videos I'm trying out as well, which you shall find out about towards the latter part of the week. So thanks again guys, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one very soon.